everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. I have a new ink. It just arrived yesterday, and it's this Noodler's 1984 ink. I saw this advertised on Van Ness. I believe it was exclusive to them, but now that I say that, I'm not 100% sure about that. But apparently there were 3 different formulations of a 1984 category type of ink. And it says January 2021 here. I was thinking it said 2022 when I first saw it, so I got mixed up on that. But for whatever reason, this is now available from Van Ness. There's only 288 bottles available. And the few reviews that I read said it was kind of a blue, black, blue, purple, or blurple they were calling it. It looks here just on this lettering here, numbering, almost like a deep blackish purple. So we'll see. I thought I could ink up my purple Twisby and see if that's a fun match. I also know from the comments on Van Ness, on the reviews, that it has significance to it that ties back to the story. It's been many years since I've read 1984, probably in high school. So if any of you have any insight on the coloring of this ink, please comment below. I would love to know, or I'd like to know where I could read a little bit more about this ink formulation and why it's the color that it is. It just looked super fun. I went ahead and bought it. As I've said before, I really don't need more inks, but I don't have a ton of them. They're not like everywhere, all over my shelves and overtaking the house. My husband said this was unique enough. Go ahead and buy it, and he's paying me back. It's part of my Valentine's present, so I said, okay, I'll do it. Anyway, the bottle is the basic, I think, Noodler's one. I have a couple others that are the same bottle, and not that it really matters, but I'd also seen this label put on here sideways, and so it kind of gave it a, like the nose part, bridge of the nose would be more on the bump. Not that that matters, but it kind of adds to the aura, I guess, of something that seems a little sinister. So anyhow, but this is on flat, and so that's where it goes. No big deal. I'll get the pen inked up and be back, and we'll try it on Stalogy. We'll try it on Cosmo Air Light, and I will scrounge up a piece of Tomoe River, and we'll see how it looks on those 3. See you in 1 second. I've not inked them up yet, but I just took the lid off, and I wanted to show you. If you haven't seen this, and which is often commented on, is that Noodler's is very generous with their proportions or quantities of ink in each bottle. So no waste here. And also interesting to note that the products are made in the United States, and I think all the components of the bottle are as well. So I kind of like that. Anyway, I will ink it up and be right back. And I may do my Lamy and Twisby just to compare maybe a little bit, or maybe Twisby 1.1 stub. So anyway, we'll see in a second. Okay, we are back. A good thing I did was wear my gloves to try to keep my fingers ink free. I have a feeling I'm going to still end up with some ink on my fingers because I probably didn't get the nibs, the nib end there totally clean. But let's give this a whirl. Another thing, Kathy at Gadget Stop 321 mentioned that Noodler's Heart of Darkness, she had heard you needed to kind of mix that up before filling your pens. I didn't think to do that with this not Heart of Darkness, but the 1984. So hopefully that's not an issue. I guess maybe I could try another pen later to see if there's any difference. Wish I would have thought of that, but it's already filled, and I think it'd be fun to go ahead and take a look. I decided to do, as my second pen, this TWSBI, and this has the 1.1 stub nib on it, which I have really liked lately when using that. When I first got it, I was not as keen on it, but with different inks, I have found that I like that quite a bit. So let's start with the Cosmo Air Light, and I'll just do my typical thing. Whoa, that's coming out like super giant blob. I mean, you can read it. It's super thick, but I think that's because I just had that all dipped in there. TWSBI Eco. This is a broad nib, as most of my TWSBIs are, except for one medium and one 1.1. This is the purple TWSBI, and this is the 1984 Noodler's ink. And this is, let me double check. Yeah, it's formulation 3 out of 3, so it's the last one. As I'm writing, you can see that, I hope you can see, it just like was gushing out there. Within just a few strokes, it has settled into a normal writing experience. And it looks like it is definitely blue, purple. Looks like a dark blue. I like how it feels. It's very smooth. Of course, I love this paper. When it goes down, it looks blue. And then as it dries, it kind of gets a little bit of a lighter bluish purple. That's nice. Okay, let's see how it is on the Stalogy, which I'm sure will be a good experience as well. I do like writing on Stalogy paper a lot, and I like the crinkle effect it gives, but I don't feel like it always accentuates an ink's quality as well as maybe some of the other papers. But I am liking it on here, and maybe it's because it's not coming out as a huge blob already. I mean, that's settled down, so it's a little more regulated, you know, kind of not super saturated from the first dip. So there I'm seeing slightly more purple. It's really different. It's hard to define. I do see blue and purple in it. I wouldn't say, well, actually, so this kind of seems purpley to me here. And as I'm looking on the Cosmo Air writing, that seems to really be close to that. Like a blackened purple is how this seems to me. Here, the color looks different. I don't know if it's showing up to you or not. It seems a little deeper here, a little more matte here, or more grayed. Someday my voice will be back to normal. I keep having to clear my throat. I've had this like head congestion going on forever. It's really starting to get on my nerves. Okay, and of course Tomoe River paper is always a really nice writing experience. It always feels smooth. This is coming out looking a lot more blue to me than here. I'm seeing more purple here. I'm seeing more of a grayed purple here, and then this is looking more blue on the Tomoe River, and it's kind of a cream Tomoe River. Again, this is also very smooth. I feel like the Cosmo Air, as I've mentioned before, it grips the pen more, and it makes my writing better because it doesn't slip as much. But the Tomoe River writing is always super nice, but I feel like my pen kind of isn't as controlled on it. But I love the inks on both papers as a general rule. So that's why I always have a hard time picking out a favorite. So definitely looks similar to how it looks on Nostalgia. And I feel like it's just a little more purpley on the Cosmo Air. So let's try a little bit with the 1.1 stub. I'm doing this because it's showing super blue through the barrel right now when the light hits it. And it's interesting then because then it goes on looking quite a bit more purpley. So let's just try something. Let's see. Gosh, look at that. Ooh. That, yeah, it's like shooting everywhere. Okay, that's fun. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is like a nightmare. This is not good. But I'll leave it on there for your amusement pleasure. Looking super blue here as it goes down. It really just gushed out of there. And as you can see, it just shot these squirts of ink. Let's see, what do I want to say? Ooh, but this is super nice. I really like how that feels with the 1.1. So good on there. Again, drying more purple, but goes down more blue. And it feels really very controlled on Nostalgia. Like, it might not be my neatest writing, but it feels like it's not just slipping and sliding across the page. Let's see. Noodlers, 1984. I would not know how to describe this color. And that was the same idea I got from the reviews that I read on Van Ness. Particularly, the first review was a little bit more lengthy, and they were saying it's kind of like a, I guess blurple, they mean blue-purple, but there's also like a blackish purple element to it. So it feels great, though. It feels really good to write with. I'm so sorry I keep doing that. It's so annoying. Someday I'll stop. TWSBI 1.1 stub nib. I always specify when I think about it my cap color. And the Noodlers, 1984. 3 out of 3. That's funny though, like those things are still not dry. Don't know what happened there. And it's so dark, it's hard to see exactly how full the barrel is, but I think it's about there. Anyway, so there's a quick little review of the 1984 Formulation 3 ink. I will have to use it more to get to have a feel for it, you know, like maybe taking some notes or writing in my gratitude journal. I definitely like how it feels. I don't know if the color is all that exciting to me, but it is different than anything I have, and I like it. So I would describe it as a bluish purple with a little bit of black mixed in to deepen it. There's not like a sheen or a shimmer. I'd say very little shading, if any, but I'm not an expert on that. I'm definitely not really seeing it. But on all three of these papers, and with both the 1.1 and with the typical broad nib that I always use, I think it's a good ink pen combination. This is looking really pretty here. And I am getting kind of a red as the light hits it, and when I move my head, it's showing up different than when I look at it straight on. So I know there's a lot more to this ink than I understand just based on the reviews, and I would love to be enlightened. This is funny how thick that came out right at first. I'll have to watch that when I'm using it away from my kitchen table so I don't splatter it all over somebody at church or something. I think maybe it would be good to try one of my Kaweco pens, the ones that the nibs are a little finicky for me with inks. Maybe they would do well with this ink because it is such a flowy ink. Okay, I'm back. I just knocked my phone. We have a little bit of shaking going there. My youngest son was just outside in the snow. It's super cold, snowy here. Everybody's excited to see the snow, except for my other son who had to drive to work in it. But anyhow, I think that the Kaweco might be another one to try with this. It's definitely got a lot of interesting qualities, and you probably can't see it, but it is really looking blue in the barrel. But I think as it goes on paper, it turns into more of a purple. So please, if you've used this, comment below, or if you know of anybody that has done a video on these inks, I would be very curious to watch it, and I will try to give you an update in a week or so, and we'll just come back and mention how this ink has worked in longer writing sessions. This obviously is just a little sample. I guess I could do a little swatch, but I think you kind of got the swatch when my ink splatters went everywhere. That was a new thing. That was kind of funny. Good thing that nothing was damaged by that. Anyway, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.